We're going to start our lesson by watching two different Simon's Cats videos and then telling how they are alike and how they are different. So here's the first one, Simon's Cat, Cat Man Do.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Just watched Simon's Cat, Catmandu, and Simon's Cat, Hot Water. We're going to compare and contrast the two videos. Remember, compare means how are they alike, and contrast means how are they different. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the characters, the plot, and the theme of each of the videos, and that will help us determine how they're similar and how they are different. So let's look at the characters. Who are the characters for Simon's Cat, Catmandu? If you said that the characters were Simon and Simon's Cat, Then you got it right. Those were the two characters in Simon's Cat, Catman. Now, what was the plot of this video? Remember, the plot is what happens. What is the problem? What are the events, the main events that happen? And the main events were Simon's cat wants Simon to wake up and feed him. He tries meowing, then pulling at Simon's face, and finally hits him with a baseball bat. Now we need the theme. The theme is a central message. It's either what is mostly going on, or sometimes it's a lesson that's being taught. So I want you to think about what was the theme. And the theme I got was that Simon's cat is hungry and tries more and more extreme ways to wake up Simon and get fed. Because he starts out with just, meowing and pulling at him until he finally hits him with a baseball bat. So they're more extreme. So now let's look at hot water. So who are the characters in hot water? Again, if you said Simon and Simon's cat, you're exactly right. That's who was in that video. Now let's think about the plot. Remember, it's what happened. So I said that Simon's cat wants to be fed, but Simon's taking a shower. The cat rips the toilet paper. Then the cat knocks the toothbrush to get the bowl. He turns the water on so the shower will get hot. And then Simon finally falls out of the shower. Now, what's the theme of hot shower? So think about that. And I said that Simon's cat is hungry and tries more and more extreme ways to get Simon out of the shower and to feed him. So now looking at our chart of Simon's cat, we can discover what is the same and what is different about the two videos. So come up with two ways that the videos are similar. And you could have said they have the same characters. They both have Simon and Simon's cat. Could have said that the themes are the same. Both of them are about Simon's cat being hungry and wanting to be fed and trying to get Simon to feed him. Now, I want you to think about two ways that the videos were different. You could have said that they're different because the cat does different things in them. In the Catman-Do, he, pats Simon's head and he meows and he hits him with a baseball bat and he pulls at his face. While in hot water, he rips up the toilet paper, he knocks all the toothbrushes over and shoves the bowl towards Simon, and then he turns the water on so that the shower will get all hot. So those are differences. You can say, one of them was in the bedroom and Simon was sleeping, and the other one took place in the bathroom when Simon was taking a shower. Lots of ways that they're different and that they're similar. So this is how we compare, telling how they're alike, and contrast, telling how they were different, Simon's cat. And now we're going to move on to two different fables, and we're going to compare and contrast those. So we have the fox and the goat and the wolf and the crane. And these are both in your Ready Common Core book. And if you look, we're doing pages 368, 369, and 374. So you can get your book and follow along. And we're going to do these ones together. So the first story is The Fox and the Goat, adapted from the Aesop for children. A fox fell into a well and could not get out again. After a long time, a thirsty goat came by. The goat thought the fox had gone down to drink, so he asked if the water was good. The finest in the country, said the fox. Jump in and try it. The goat jumped in and began to drink. The fox quickly jumped on the goat's back and leaped out of the well. The goat now saw what trouble he had gotten into and begged the fox to help him out. But the fox was already on his way to the woods. If you had as much sense as you have beard, he said as he ran, you would have been more cautious about finding a way to get out again before you jumped in. And the moral is look before you leap, which means to think before you do something. Because the goat should have thought about how to get out of the well before jumping in, and should have thought about, is it a good idea to jump into a well just because the fox says it is? Now let's look at the wolf and the crane. Again, this is adapted from the Aesop for Children. A wolf had been feasting, and a bone had stuck in his throat. He could not get it neither up nor down, and of course he could not eat. So away he hurried to the crane. He was sure that she, with her long neck and bill, would be able to reach the bone and pull it out. "I will reward you," said the wolf, "if you pull that bone out for me." The crane was very uneasy about putting her head in a wolf's throat, but she did what the wolf asked her to do. When the wolf felt that the bone was gone, he started to walk away. "But what about my reward?" called the crane. "What?" snarled the wolf, whirling around. "Isn't it enough that I let you take your head out of my mouth without snapping it off?" And the moral is expect no reward for serving the wicked, which means that if someone who is not good and you think it's not a good idea to do something tells you that they'll give you a reward for doing it, I would not believe them. So now we're going to look at the next page, which says to complete the chart to show how the two fables are alike and different. So we're going to start with the characters of the fox and the goat. And the characters of the fox and the goat, see if you can write it down. Go ahead and write down the characters for the fox and the goat. And you should have written the character as fox and goat, because those are those characters. Now let's think about the plot for fox and goat. Go ahead and write down what you think is a plot for fox and goat, and then we'll go over it. I said that the fox tricks the goat into helping him escape the well, because that's what happened in the story. Now you need to think of what is the theme. Remember, the theme for a fable is going to be the lesson you learn. So go ahead and write down what you think is the theme. I wrote down the theme as you need to think before you act, because that's the lesson you need to learn in the fox and the goat. Now let's move over to the wolf and the crane. Go ahead and write down the characters for the wolf and the crane. So I wrote wolf and crane, because those were my two characters. Now you want to think about what is the plot, what happened in the story, The Wolf and the Crane, and go ahead and write it down. I said that the plot is that the wolf tricks the crane into getting the bone out of his throat. Now come up with the theme or the lesson you learn from The Wolf and the Crane, and go ahead and write it down. And I wrote down that the theme is don't trust bad people, because he shouldn't have trusted that wolf, and he knew not to because he was hesitant. So don't trust people, you shouldn't. And that is how we fill out this chart. And this is going to help us do our writing on page 374. So I can look at this chart to tell me how are the fables alike and how are they different. So if I look at page 374, it says, describe how the two fables are alike and different. Be sure to use details about characters, setting, and theme from each story. So we're going to think about how they're alike and how are they different. Remember, it's a short response, which means I need a paragraph. I need a main idea, which I get from my writing prompt. I need details, and I need a concluding sentence. So now I want you to think about what could you write? How are they alike and how are they different? And so take your time and write your response, and then you can come and look at mine and see what you think. You can pause this video to write your response. So this is what I wrote. I started out with my main idea, which came directly from my prompt. The fables, the fox and the goat and the wolf and the crane, are alike and different. That comes right here. Then I tell how are they alike and how are they different. So first I do alike. The two fables are alike because the characters are similar. Both stories have animals for characters. One fable has a fox and a goat, and one has a wolf and a crane. Also, both stories have a character that plays a trick. In The Fox and the Goat, the fox tricks the goat into going down to the well so the fox can get out. In The Wolf and the Crane, the wolf tricks the crane into getting the bone out of his throat by saying he will give the crane a reward. I give the details for how are they alike. Now I go on to how are they different. The two fables are different because the themes are different. In The Fox and the Goat, the theme is to think before you act. But in The Wolf and the Crane, the theme is to not trust bad people. So that's how they're different. If you notice, I took mine right from my chart. And then I give my concluding sentence, which always goes back to my main idea. This is how the two fables are alike and different. Now that you know how to do Fox and the Goat and The Wolf and the Crane, you should be able to do the rest of your pages in your Ready Common Core book that are on comparing and contrasting two stories. And that's it for this lesson with Miss D.